I'm in this business almost a decade, and it wasn't like this. And it's really great to see that it's getting so much traction. When I started this business, I heard it's too soon for us. It's not relevant for us. I heard many reasons not to work with AI from different people in different levels within the companies. And knowing where we are going, every time I hear that they didn't want to look into AI, I had a little tear going over my cheek, which I had to wipe away. Nowadays, AI adoption skyrocketed. According to McKinsey, we went from 20% in 2017 to 78% of adoption. But most of this adoption is on a consumer level. So we are using pre-built AI tools, which is helping us do different things. And it's really nice to experiment with these tools as well. But we have to realize that we do not own this intelligence. We are renting it. We are giving our data away. And that gives a lot of power to this cloud AI tool over our persons and over our companies. When you look into building your own AI solutions, and these days that's getting easier and easier, and we will come there in a bit, we start to become creators, because with our data, we can build specialized tools that work for us, and also build this locally, so it's more secure and private. So a while back, ChatGPT launched their transcription tool. And when I was on LinkedIn, I saw people really enthusiastically, yeah, I already used it and it's great and everything. And I do believe it's great, because I'm every day amazed with what's getting possible with AI. The problem here is, you're discussing sensitive information. They know your name, they know with whom you talk, they know what you discussed, and your person and your company is getting profiled. So, which means we are constantly leaking data away. And this is not because we want to, but most of us use AI also very unconsciously, not thinking about the risks it brings with it. And then occasionally things like this happen. In this case, a lot of private conversation from ChatGPT was indexed in Google. So when you put information in a cloud, you have to consider that this data might become public. Actually, you have to count on it and act accordingly. So we need to get more conscious about our data, the value we are giving away. And as I said, I really understand the excitement. I'm not saying don't use cloud AI tools. I'm using them myself, but I do that very consciously. So if it's not sensitive, I just want to try out something, I'll check out how it will work. So Llama Coder, you want to build an app, you just tell them what do you want, and it will write the code and build the app for you. Is it perfect? Not yet, but we are going fast to perfection. So in my environment, I hear that people putting contracts in ChatGPT, asking questions, company contracts, which is very sensitive. They don't do this on company computers, but they do it on their private computers. And this is really happening. And people will keep doing this, so we need to look into ways how we can give people AI, they can still do it, but more safely and securely. So what I did, I asked Llama Coder to build me a PDF analyzer, so I could upload the document, and I could ask it questions, so I don't need to read everything. And I used one of our papers that we did with Breda University. And when it built the app, the front end, it built the code, but when I asked a question, it didn't deliver. But I have to say, in all fairness, it was just one prompt that I did. So I could try more and see if I could get it working. But it's crazy that I can, with one prompt, that it can build my front end and write the code and make it actually ready for optimization. I asked the same to ChatGPT, and it gave me an executive summary, which did it pretty good actually. So as I said, a lot of people are using ChatGPT or any other cloud tool, and they put all this sensitive data in the cloud. So according to research, 57% of all employees are using the cloud AI tools with sensitive data. And 86% of the organizations experience data leakages because of this. So should we not stop using the cloud? Should we stop using the cloud? No, absolutely not, because it has its value, but we just need to be more conscious. What are we going to use it for? What data are we giving away? How sensitive is this data? What could happen to us if this data became public? So, as I said, cloud solutions has its place. It's very important. But the key is to keep everything that is critical in-house, and everything that is not sensitive, you can run that in the cloud. There are different combinations to make, so I can just give you one example. For example, if you have a factory, you are running machines, and there's a lot of machine-to-machine communication. You don't want delays in that communication, so you need to run that locally. Then you can decide, because some of that data might be IP data, to save that on your private servers. And you might have factories in different countries. So you can send that data to the cloud, which is not that sensitive, and do bigger analytics. So this means that a company should look into what am I going to do, where am I going to do, how I am going to do, and how I am going to do the safety and security. Because you have to imagine when you use a cloud AI tool, and like with the Llama coder, when I have $1 million idea, and I ask Llama coder to build me an app with that, now that idea is not only mine, it's everyone's. So when you as companies or a person give your data, your sensitive information, it's not yours anymore, because you're renting that intelligence. And like your competition can use the same AI tool. That means you will lose your competitive advantage. And these are all things we have to consider before we use AI, and then use it accordingly. So, sorry. So you can use AI stress-free. Did anyone hear about local AI? I see a few hands, so it's good that I'm talking about this topic then. LM Studio, you can just download that to your computer. It's so simple. In LM Studio, you can just select the large language models, and it will download it, and you can have your private ChatGPT working securely, locally, on your own computer. And anything LLM, you can build your own AI agents. Because you have to imagine, especially with AI agents, I don't know if you have seen the new possibilities of ChatGPT, that you can connect other applications and it can run it for you. That means that ChatGPT will know everything about you. And we will start to use also AI agents as personal assistants, like directly integrated in our lives. This means that big tech companies know about our business, which apps we use, where we are, with whom we talk, how we think. Can you imagine the power we are giving away over us, over our companies? And is it not smarter to keep that data for yourself, build your own AI solutions, as they're getting much easier and easier, you just have to look into it. So, I did it to the test. On the left side you already see it was the executive summary from ChatGPT. And on the right side I used DeepSeek. Running locally, data going nowhere, just on my workstation. And to be fair, I like the DeepSeek answer better. The ChatGPT model uses hundreds of billions of parameters. And my ChatGPT model just used 32 billion parameters, and it came with a better result. So in this case, if I was going to use my personal or my sensitive company data, I would prefer to have it on my workstation or laptop, how you want to name it, and use it there. So the data doesn't leak. So I don't leak my data away. So I don't give my competitive advantage away. So for this, I use ZBook Ultra, and I'm very enthusiastic about this system. This is AMD powered, and it just unifies the whole memory into one. And I run the 32 billion parameter model flawlessly in this one. Before this one, I had one with 64 gigabytes, and I could run 16 billion parameters flawlessly, and it was going to run at 32 billion parameters, more like slower, but still good enough. And with this unit, I could run 32 billion parameters flawlessly, and at 70 billion, it was running a little bit slower. I don't know if parameters say something to you, because it's even not important. It's about what you can do. But let me say it like this. If you are developing a small large language model specifically for your use case, and you enrich that with your own data, that will give you most of the times better results than that you use a huge model with 600 billion parameters that is generic. So it's all about the quality of your data and how you train it. So this means, for example, when you are going to build an AI agent that will read your documents and analyze it or give you the key points out of this documentation, you could be maybe fine with 8 billion parameters. So you don't need a big server part of the large language models. You can already do it on a laptop like this. And I just want to mention one last workstation we have. We have many, as you saw in the other picture, but these two are special to me because I really like them. With this one, the Z2 Mini G1A, you can connect them indefinitely together. So when you have 4 of these, you can connect them, and if you want, you can put it in a rack. But that means it will be equal to a workstation that maybe will usually cost like 40,000, 50,000. Depends like on your configuration. And like, if you want to start small, you want to experiment with AI, you can buy something like this and see what it does for you. You need to go to bigger models. You can just add one, connect it to each other, and you go from 128 to 256 memory for AI. So I think we discussed already many of these points, but most AI tools that are developed in the cloud are generative models that are developed for everyone and not specifically to you. When you have your own models, you can fine-tune them to your own needs and optimize it. But that means also that you control the intelligence. It's yours. It's not leaking away. And what we see when we use the cloud with audio or video, it's huge. It's data, the calculations you need. So, long story short, cloud can get very expensive very fast. And if in your use case, that's the way it is, that's fine. What I'm only trying to say here is, look strategically what's the best for yourself or your organization, and make the correct decisions if you're going to be in the private servers, if you're going to be in the public cloud, or if you're going to be on the workstations. So at our booth, we have 2 companies that have used our workstations, so they can tell you from experience how they used it in their projects, what the benefits for them were. So please, if you are interested, go visit them. And on my LinkedIn, we have multiple case studies that we did with customers. You can connect with me and read the case studies there. And every now and then I'm also writing articles. And to let you experience, I put 2 laptops, 2 workstations with LM Studio running DeepSeek and Llama model. So just go and try it so you can see how it works for you. And if it's really interesting for you, we can maybe even look like if we can loan you a unit so you can try it for yourself. Because what we see is that, let me give you one last example. So with the Ultra, I loaned it to a customer, and at first it was like, yeah, but it's 80, and etc., etc. They used it, and they are loving it. But I love it too. I'm really enthusiastic about the Zenton Ultra. So I want to leave you with one question. So we all know whoever controls the data controls the future. So are you going to own the future, or are you going to rent it? Thank you.
Now we have a few moments for audience questions. If you have a question, do raise your hand. And the microphone will come to you. Fantastic, second row here. And raise your hand again. This is gentleman just there. Fantastic. Sorry, apologies, I didn't see you just there.
Thank you for this. It was a wake-up call. My question is around when you're using OpenAI Enterprise or what we heard from the Google talk, they have said that your data is your data, and as long as you don't share the memory, it's not sent out. So how do you see that? Also for personal use, if you don't share the memory, is it still going out?
Well, excellent question. Depends. Is it closed source or is it open source? If it's closed source, you have to trust what they're saying. So let me give you an example. ChatGPT said, when you pay or when you're a company, we will not use your data to train, which is correct. We assume that. We cannot see that, but we trust it's correct, right? There's no reason not to believe it. But the court in the States, if I'm not mistaken, anyone can correct me, said also to ChatGPT or OpenAI, you cannot delete any data, you have to save those data. So that means that every conversation I had with ChatGPT is now saved somewhere in a server. So if you make agreements with Microsoft, OpenAI, you entrust them that they will follow through on what you have agreed and that your data will not be shared. But the power of open source like LM Studio or a DeepSeek or a Llama is that you can check the source code. And I'm not capable enough to check it, but because it's open source, thousands of engineers, thousands of AI specialists are checking this code. So if there's anything wrong with it, it will come out. But when it's like a closed source environment, well, if there's a massive leak, it will come out, but usually you just have to trust that it's all safe and also working like that.
Okay, we have just one very brief minute, so make your question short, make your answer even shorter.
Thanks. I like your talk, thank you. You said costs are coming down, the gap between open source models, closed source models, closing, quality-wise. What do you think is the biggest barrier to adoption of it? Because I see a lot of positive things about it, but then why are a lot of people not using it already? That's my question.
Can you repeat the last sentence? Why are people
not using it already? Yeah.
Well, it can be multiple things. One of the things is that people are not necessarily aware. The ChatGPT is in the news, you see it everywhere. You go try and check it out. And like we are also conditioned as a person to believe that we do not matter, or data does not matter. Like, ask anyone, most of the people will say, like, yeah, so what if they have my data? I have nothing to hide, but it's not about hiding something. It's about your right to privacy, and that your data is not used without your knowledge, that your data is not sold to someone you don't know, and you don't know what they will do with your data. And if we see like all the leaks are happening, and like people are targeted because of very sensitive data has leaked, like it's like crazy. So I like the cloud, I like on-prem, but what I like most is be conscious about it and use it in a way that you do not lose your data or like disadvantage yourself.
And it seems that we need a fair amount of education on this from what you're saying now. A very, very warm hand applause. Your data is precious. Keep it safe. Thank you very much. Now, our final speaker for the lunch break is going to present